Philippines Navy face-to-face with China in South China Sea. Welcome to our video on the Philippines Navy's face-to-face encounters with China in the South China Sea. The South China Sea is a strategically important region with vast reserves of oil and natural gas and serves as a vital shipping route. The Philippines and China have been in a territorial dispute over the region for many years, and tensions between the two countries have escalated in recent years. In this video, we will examine the ongoing conflict and the latest developments in the Philippines' efforts to protect its sovereignty. Tensions between the two nations have been simmering for years, as China seeks to assert its dominance over the region, claiming nearly all of the South China Sea as its own. The Philippine Navy, tasked with protecting their nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity, were forced to stand up to the Chinese Navy in an epic face-off that has captured the world's attention. The Philippine Navy, despite being smaller in size and firepower, showed incredible bravery and resolve in the face of their adversary. They were determined to defend their nation's interests, no matter the cost. Despite the danger and risks involved, the Philippine Navy emerged victorious, sending a clear message to China and the rest of the world. The battle may be won, but the war for control over the South China Sea continues. The Philippines may be a small nation, but its navy has proven that it is a force to be reckoned with. And as tensions in the South China Sea continue to rise, the world will be watching to see how this epic struggle unfolds. The Philippine Coast Guard (PCG) reported that a confrontation took place between two of its vessels and the Chinese Navy in the contested South China Sea. The incident occurred at Second Thomas Shoal, a location that has been a persistent source of tension between the Philippines and China. The PCG has accused the Chinese Coast Guard (CTG) of engaging in unsafe maneuvers. According to a statement released by the Philippine Coast Guard on Friday, the initial encounter took place on April 21, when a Chinese Navy vessel intercepted the Coast Guard boats at a distance of 7 nautical miles, 13 kilometers, from Pag-asa Island. The island, also referred to as Thitu Island, is situated in the disputed Spratly Islands and was taken over by the Philippines in the 1970s. It currently houses around 400 people. The Philippines has been increasing its naval presence in the South China Sea in recent years, which has led to multiple face-to-face encounters with Chinese vessels. The dispute between the Philippines and China centers around territorial rights over certain areas in the South China Sea. The Philippines claims the region falls within its exclusive economic zone, EEZ, while China claims historical ownership of the area. The Philippines' claim is based on the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which grants countries an exclusive economic zone of 200 nautical miles from their coastline. China, however, argues that it has sovereignty over nearly the entire South China Sea, based on its historical claims. The strategic importance of the South China Sea cannot be overstated. It is home to vital shipping lanes that are essential for global trade, and it contains vast reserves of oil and natural gas. The region is also rich in fisheries, which are a vital source of food for millions of people in the region. The Philippines' increasing naval presence in the South China Sea is aimed at protecting its sovereignty and asserting its rights under international law. However, these efforts have put the country in direct conflict with China, which has responded with its own show of force. The Philippine Coast Guard (PCG) stated that the confrontation commenced when the Chinese corvette demanded the PCG vessels to leave and warned that non-compliance may result in trouble. The PCG vessels reportedly refused to back down and asserted their right to conduct operations within the territorial sea of Pag-asa Island. They'd also asked the Chinese Navy to depart. The second incident occurred 2 days later near Second Thomas Shoal, also known as Ayungin Shoal in the Philippines. According to the PCG statement, the PCG ships were intercepted by 2 Chinese Coast Guard (CTG) ships that displayed aggressive tactics. One of the CCG ships reportedly performed dangerous maneuvers while remaining at a perilous distance of only 50 yards, 46 meters. The statement expressed that this close proximity posed a significant threat to the safety and security of the Philippine vessel and its crew. Additionally, the second CCG ship closely monitored the movements of the other PCG ship from a distance of about 640 meters, 700 yards. China asserts its claim over almost the entirety of the South China Sea and disregarded the ruling of an international court which the Philippines brought, stating that there was no historical basis for China's claim. The decision also discovered that China's activities violated numerous articles under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, relating to safety and navigation at sea, following events at Scarborough Shoal in 2012. Lau Morris, a senior fellow for foreign policy and national security at the Asia Society Policy Institute Center for China Analysis, confirmed this. Despite the 2016 verdict, China has continued to expand and develop military outposts and deploy fishing fleets, maritime militia, and the Coast Guard to maintain its claim to the South China Sea. The PCG statement claimed that its ships encountered over 100 alleged Chinese maritime militia vessels during their week-long patrol of shoals and features surrounding the West Philippine Sea, which ended on April 24. Apart from China and the Philippines, other states, including Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and self-governed Taiwan, assert their claims to the South China Sea. In February, the Philippines accused China of utilizing a potent laser against one of its vessels on a resupply mission at Second Thomas Shoal and filed a complaint. The shoal is located approximately 195 kilometers, 121 miles, northwest of the Philippine province of Palawan in the disputed Spratly Islands. It is home to a small contingent of Philippine soldiers residing on board a dilapidated Second World War-era vessel known as the Sierra Madre. The ship was deliberately beached there in 1999 to emphasize the Philippines' claim to the island chain. Furthermore, CCG patrols were engaged in a significant altercation with Vietnamese vessels near crucial Vietnamese gas and oil fields last month. Meanwhile, tensions have also been escalating near Malaysia's Casawara gas development project, as stated by the Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative. The ongoing territorial dispute between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea has the potential to escalate into a much larger conflict. The Philippines has been increasing its naval presence in the region to protect its sovereignty, but this has led to multiple face-to-face encounters with Chinese vessels. The legal basis for each country's claims, the strategic importance of the region, and the potential implications for the Philippines, China, and the rest of the world make this an issue that demands attention. Thank you for watching our video on the Philippines Navy's face-to-face encounters with China in the South China Sea.